How's it going, everyone? So here I'm going to show you how to plant and take care of a Lantana topiary. So if you were one of the lucky ones to get one, great. If you aren't, I still have a few left. If you live in other parts of the world, hopefully you have one of these. Seek one out and follow these instructions. So they come in these smaller pots, so first thing we're going to want to do is plant it into a bigger pot. So to do that, I just kind of tip it up and I squish these plastic pots. Put my finger in the bottom and just try and pull it out. You always want to check to see if it's root bound. This you can see is not. The roots are free and they're ready to go into the new mix. That's perfect. If they are root bound, you're going to want to use some water in your fingers and gently break up the soil like this and kind of give some of those bottom roots some room to just spread out into the new mixture. So I got some potting mix. Drop this in. And you can see it's a little higher than the pot, so we don't want that. It's too much. There we go. Now you can see it's at level, a little bit lower. Now that we have it in, that was the easy part. Generally they come with a stake. That's how they're grown. Leave this stake in or take it out. For now I'm going to leave it in, just to give that plant a little extra support. I'll get some more potting mix. You want to spread it around into all the edges. But the important thing is that these edges are open. So you're going to want to push down and compact this a little bit. You're not trying to really hammer it in like concrete, but if you didn't do that, you watered it, it would all settle and it would be very low. So we're just going to gently compress this so that the soil surface is even. It's better to do a little less because you can always add more if you feel like you need to after about a week. So now that you have this in, until the roots really get established, this plant isn't really secure. So I like to take a few tomato stakes and I cut these ones so that they're not super long. And you don't want to pierce the root ball that this was in. So if this is your pot size, I don't want to take these stakes and put them into the pot because it's really root bound and it can ruin the roots. So I want to put them on the outside. So here, just going to go right on the out. Just push them all the way to the bottom of the pot. And here you have it. I'll push my fingers around the soil a little bit until these stakes get somewhat secure. And then as you water this, the soil will packed around it, and then the roots from the Lantana, as they grow, will encompass these stakes and really give it some support. I'll just take a little piece of twine, wrap it around, and I like to go a little bit higher. Down here, it's already pretty supported. This is where it's top heavy, so you want to go up a little bit higher. The thing you want to keep in mind is that when you're using string or a bungee works really well, you don't want to wrap it super tight around the stem. Because what's going to happen is you're going to forget about it, and then this stem, as it grows, is going to encompass this string and then almost embed it into the stem, and then that can actually kill the plant eventually. So when you're wrapping it, you want to go like this. You want to do a little bit of a zigzag. And that way, no matter where the stem grows, it always has room to expand. And if you have a bungee, it's even better because bungees are a little bit more flexible than this twine. So here I have it. And then I'm just going to circle around again and make my knot. Just like that. Now we have a secure Lantana topiary. You can use different string if this is a little unpretty, but you can use different things. I'm going to leave the existing stem, the existing stake in here until these roots get established. Then I'll slip this out. So let's get up top. So here we are at the top. And you might have bought your Lantana topiary and it was full of blooms and looked beautiful. And then you take it home and as the days and weeks go on, it has less and less flowers. Well, that's because for Lantana, it's very important to deadhead the old flowers, seed pods, and that encourages a constant supply of new flowers all season long. So one thing I didn't know, let's get closer. when you look at something like these stems down here, I thought those were all new flowers. But what they are is actually expired flowers that are seed pods. And it's very important to deadhead these, just like this. You pick them right off all the way down to the stem. And what you can look at, and I'll show you this one before I pick it off, see how this one actually has a seed on it right there. I'll pick it off with my hand. So those I thought were blooms, and the whole time they're not blooms, they're expired flowers. So you want to go through and really pick off or deadhead all of these expired flowers, seed pods if you will, and that encourages the plant to send up new ones. So what does a flower look like? Well, look at here at the top. Here you have your seed pod, a little bit farther down the stem. Up top you have your newer flowers coming. So those you'll leave. And then as they expire, they look like this, and you just deadhead them. And eventually, you can start to see more flowers will pop. You'll get a continuous bloom all season long. So definitely check this out. Here, I'll pick the two off so you can see them side by side. So here, we have a seed pod, and here, we have a new flower. This new flower, after it goes through the flower, ends up as a seed pod. Pick them off, do it a couple times a week if you can, and you'll have a beautiful, blooming, lush Lantana topiary all season long. So hopefully you learned something, just like I did. We'll see you around at Buddha's Botanicals, and thanks for tuning in.